that all is well, while communist influence is spreading everywhere in the world, while North Africa is in rebellion, while the guns are loaded in the Formosa Strait, and when the Russians have a foothold in the Middle East for the first time in history.
I'm a little reminded of the woman that stopped me coming into a meeting somewhere the other day, and she said, "Gee, where'd you get that sunburn? You know, Governor, you're better looking than your pictures." Then I started to thank her, and she said, "Thank heavens." I'm much obliged to you, and I wish you all Godspeed.
A much larger group of farmers gathered from all over the country who had come to see that plowing contest of an incident just 4 years before, when he and I also spoke at one of those great plowing matches. That time it was at Casson, Minnesota. I remember so well that when I arrived at the scene, they told me that General Eisenhower had just finished speaking and what he had said. So when it was my turn to speak, I said that the Republican candidate had just stolen the Democratic agricultural platform in broad daylight. But I later said that I owed the president an apology because he returned the plank immediately after the election.
Vice President, how are you feeling?
Well, as a matter of fact, in seeing this beautiful Oklahoma day, I think I'm going to feel a lot better after I leave here than before I came.
Do you think your voice will hold out through the campaign all right now?
Oh, you betcha. I've, in 10 years of campaigning, making over 5,000 speeches, I've never missed one yet. I may not talk very long today, but that will be, of course, to the audience's benefit, I'm sure. And incidentally, I might say that for the first time, my wife, Pat's, going to make a few remarks today, so the audience's gain is going to be certainly a very great one, I think, in the connection.
Mrs. Dixon, do you think you might take over your husband's duties if his voice gives him any trouble?
No, I've always made it a practice not to speak on political subjects. I don't think one person can ever speak for another, so I always leave that to my husband.
Don't worry, she's the best campaigner in the family. Never had it so good. Did you realize that in 1956 today, the 67 million American workers are getting $50 or more a month in paycheck than they had then? And all that I can say this, if we never had it so good under Truman, we got it a lot better under Eisenhower, and let's keep it that way.
Greatest array of military air might this year at the National Aircraft Show, Labor Day weekend, Oklahoma City. You will see this all-weather twin-jet Northrop Scorpion F-89, the Air Force's most heavily armed fighter interceptor. You will see the Air Force's SM-62, America's intercontinental guided missile, and hundreds of other interesting exhibits demonstrating a decade of security through global air power. Plan now to attend the National Aircraft Show. Labor Day weekend, September 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. Will Rogers Field, Oklahoma City.
Deadly efficient, That's North American's F-86 Sabre jet, a speedy first-line fighter on round-the-clock duty at U.S. Air Force bases throughout the world. The Sabre jet, that has helped to give our nation a decade of security through global air power, is one of the many Air Force planes to be on display at the National Aircraft Show. See your Air Force. Deadly efficient. That's North American's F-86 Sabre jet, a speedy first-line fighter on round-the-clock duty at U.S. Air Force bases throughout the world. The Sabre jet, that has helped to give our nation a decade of security through global air power, is one of the many Air Force planes to be on display at the National Aircraft Show. See your Air Force in action. See the F-86 Sabre jet and other modern jet aircraft at the National Aircraft Show, Will Rogers Field, Oklahoma City, September 1st, 2nd, and 3rd.
They'll not come. I'm convinced from an administration made up of representatives of only one group in our society. They will not come from the service only of the strong, the rich, and the base, making them richer, stronger, and bigger, relying on the brimming cup somehow to flow over and nourish the rest of us. These answers for our future will not come from a party, a leadership, and a philosophy which has produced no answers in the past. These answers will come from a government which trusts the people, all of the people, and which relies on the people, all of them, and which seeks only to serve